19th. So I'm going to call the Williamson County Budget Committee meeting to order on April 19th, 2021. Before we call the roll, I'll read the statement regarding electronic meetings. This meeting is being held pursuant to Executive Order number 78 from the Governor of the State of Tennessee. As such, all members of the committee must be able to hear me and each other. If you cannot hear other committee members, please notify us immediately. Without objection, the Budget Committee hereby determines that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak. This meeting is available to the public on Public Access TV and is streaming live on YouTube. Can all members of the committee hear me and each other? All right. First thing we'll do is call the roll. It should be loaded on open meetings. We'll wait on that. There we go. Please press your present button. Let's see, Commissioner Herbert, Commissioner Morton are having issues.
Mine's still logging in on Wednesday the 14th. So let me see if I can get that fixed here, but I am present.
I can see you. So let's wait just a second. Commissioner Herbert, are you able to connect? Thank you, Chaz. You on now? Has anyone heard from Commissioner Herbert? Are you online?
Chairman, she is connected, but she just hasn't pressed the present button yet.
Okay, I don't see her on the WebEx. Is she on the WebEx?
Let's see. I don't see her, but I did hear from her earlier, and she said that she would be here. So she might be one of the call-in users.
Okay. We'll work on getting Commissioner Herbert logged in, but at this point, let us show that the Budget Committee has 4 present, 1 absent, and we'll work on getting Commissioner Herbert hooked up. So, Commissioner Herbert, if you hear us, call us in and let's see if we can get you hooked up one way or the other, please. All right, first up, we have the minutes of last 2 meetings. So the first one is I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of April 5th, 2021. Or someone make that motion in a second. Motion by Commissioner Sturgeon, second by
Commissioner Morton will second.
Commissioner Morton. Thank you. Does anyone have any additions, deletions, questions about the minutes of 4/5/2021? All right, we'll assume you're ready to approve. If you're in favor of the minutes as presented, push your yes button. And Commissioner Morton, you're still having, looks like, is that correct? There we go. Record the vote, please. And those minutes are approved 4-1. Next up is the minutes of the Budget Committee for April 13th, 2021. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Commissioner Sturgeon, some motions or a second?
Commissioner Morton second.
All right, thank you. Are there any additions, deletions, or changes that need to be made to the minutes of April 13th, 2021? If not, ready to vote. If you're in favor as presented, push your yes button. And record the vote. And the minutes are by a vote of 4-0, 1 absent. All right, we've received this afternoon some transfers. I'm assuming everyone's got it. Is there anyone that did not get the transfers that were sent out this afternoon? All right, thank you. All right, the first one up is from the Health Department, transferring $3,000.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mayor Anderson.
Your last vote was 3-1 and out. Commissioner Sturgeon did abstain. You recorded it as 4-0. It was 3,
Okay.
just for correction, because the minutes, the voting machine will show the actual vote.
Okay. You know, I need to look at that. It looked like she had voted yes on my screen here. So that's a good thing to point out. All right. I'll watch that on our next extension and see if I can catch it. All right, back to the transfers. This is again from the Health Department, $3,000. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Commissioner Morton has. Thank you. Ms. Montgomery, I'm assuming is on the line. If anyone has any questions, this looks pretty explanatory. Does anyone on the Budget Committee have a question? Are we ready to vote? All those in favor of this transfer, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. Okay, 4 yes. Okay. All right, I see there. I've got to look at two screens here, Mr. Mayor. That's where I can see both votes. Thank you. That passes 4-0. Next up is a transfer from the Benefits Director regarding office supplies. So I have a motion for approval. Commissioner Morton. Commissioner Sturgeon's a second. You say it's $300 for office supplies. Does anyone have any questions of Ms. Crawford on this item? If not, ready to vote. Commissioner Sturgeon, go ahead. I see you, but I can't hear you.
Sorry, my bad.
Okay.
I just wanted to say it's 3,000, not 300. I thought I heard you say 300.
My list shows 300 here on the benefits.
It is 300.
You're right, it is. I was still looking at the last one.
Okay,
Sorry,
that's fine.
my bad.
Hey, you know, these old eyes can make mistakes, Commissioner Sturgeon, so good catch. That is $300 from the benefits department. Any other questions? Ready to vote on this transfer? If you're in favor, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote. I see Commissioner Herbert is here. Record the vote, please. And that's approved. Let the roll show that Commissioner Herbert has joined us. Thank you, Commissioner Herbert. Next one up, transfer is a transfer in the Sheriff's Department budget of $7,500 amongst the drug fund regarding the K-9 operating supplies. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. Does anyone have any questions? We have someone from the Sheriff's Office on the line. If not, ready. All those in favor of this transfer in the Sheriff's Department, $7,500, push your yes button. If you're against, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passes 0. Thank you. Next up, another transfer. This is again from the Sheriff's Department for $33,000 regarding communications and moving over to software. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Herbert, and a second. Commissioner Morton. I would like to just hear just a little bit about what we're doing here with 33,000. Just a quick synopsis. Is that someone from the Sheriff's Department, or is that you, Nina?
I did speak to them about this, having that much excess funds in their communication line. They had anticipated a project to come through this year and it did not, which made this money available to be used for this software.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have a question? If not, are we ready to vote? If you're in favor of the transfer to the Sheriff's Department for $33,000, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passed 5-0. That is all the transfers I have. Now we'll move on to the regular budget item. The first one up is the Ag Expo Center, 56900 for a total amount of $1,509,298. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Morton, second by Commissioner Herbert. I see Kenny Wallace is on there. Would you give us a brief explanation, please, of anything that's changed this year, Kenny?
Mr. Chairman, nothing is, can you hear me, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, hear you loud and clear.
Nothing has changed except the dates on the paperwork.
Well, a few changes, but they look minor. Does anyone have any questions of Kenny. Commissioner Herbert, go ahead. Judy, we can't hear you.
I'm having a computer problem. Yeah, I guess I'm questioning the overtime of almost 75,000 when no events are going on. And also my other question is, when do you plan on start scheduling events? I know we're going to do the fair and you need overtime for the fair. What else do you need the overtime for?
Judy, that overtime has been built into our budget over many years, over a case of 20 years. As I can go back to what Mayor Anderson has told me many times over many years, we do not use overtime unless it is absolutely necessary. We have a small staff here, as you well know, and there are events where we have to build that overtime in, and the fair is one of them, the rodeo is one of them, the graduations is one of them, but that's just money that's been built in over the years. And it's just been rolling over for the years. And of course, we're not using any overtime right now, as you well know. And so as far as your other question is concerned, we know that we're going to have a fair as of right now. Past that, we do not know. I do not have those answers for you. I wish I did, but I do not. I know that we've done traffic has been weaved around these parking lots out here with cars, and so we're still doing vaccines. So we'll see when the 1st of July gets here, because we're gonna have to start setting up for the fair at that time, and after the fair, we'll go from there.
So they haven't given you a date when they're going to quit doing the COVID shots over there?
They have asked me, and from the ag park standpoint, Commissioner, we have to have the arena itself no later than July the 5th to allow us proper setup time. The fair is basically a 6 weeks project for us. So we have a lot of work to do, and it's just not getting set up, but then you gotta clean the place up and set it back up after the fair. So after that, I do not know. I do not have that answer for you.
So you're saying, I mean, but after the fair, you won't be doing COVID shots over there, will you? Or you don't know at this point?
I do not know at this time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have a question regarding the Ag Expo Park? All right, are we ready to vote? This is on line item 56900. If you're in favor of the Ag Park budget of $1,509,298, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. And that budget passes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace and team. We'll see you soon at the fair.
Thank you.
Coming up is the 57100 Ag Extension Services for a total of $612,522. So I have a motion for approval. Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. Does anyone have any questions on this line item? Commissioner Herbert.
All right, I'm gonna be a problem today. Yeah. My computer problems, so I'm gonna continue being problems. They've got over $9,000 for cleaning their office in their budget. And I guess my concern is, can anybody at the Ag Center clean their office since they're over there, since they're really not putting on performances now? And cut that some? I guess that's up to the mayor.
Who are you directing that to? You direct that to someone from the Ag Park or to the Extension Service, Commissioner Herbert?
It'd be either the Ag Park or the mayor.
Okay.
So this is Rogers, Commissioner. The last 2 or 3 years, we've had that contracted services out for that area that the Ag Extension Services are in there. the, trying to just keep the continuity of it, because you've got to build in some money once the Ag Center, and Kenny is correct, we're shooting for around July the 1st of our COVID shots being removed from that area out there. And then once that happens, the McKinney's people will go back to doing what they've been doing. I mean, they're still mowing and doing a lot of the things out there, but this is a contracted services to try to get that area. I understand what you're asking, but it won't be a year-long process, maybe a couple more months.
Okay.
Mr. Herbert, do you have a follow-up, Commissioner Herbert?
Oh, no, I just said thank you.
Okay. Commissioner Sturgeon?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I'm just looking at the line for medical insurance, and it's going up 27.5%. Is that real? And why?
I think either the mayor or someone from Matt's office might explain that. I know a little bit about it, but not enough to explain it to you, Commissioner Sturgeon.
Commissioner Sturgeon, this is Matt Horseman. So
Matt?
a process that began probably back in 2014, UT started converting all new and open positions that were cost shared. Previously, UT was carrying all of the benefits side of it. So then each time a new position became open, they transitioned half of those benefits. So medical insurance being one of those benefits. There are 7 employees that are cost shared between either TSU or UT and Williamson County. So this is, I believe, the 5th position that was moving from 100% paid by UT to cost shared. So that's why you're seeing that change in rate.
Okay, well, I never would have guessed that as the answer, so thank you. Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome.
They're passing the cost back to the counties, Commissioner Sturgeon. Been doing that for a few years. Any other questions on the Ag Extension Services budget? Are we ready to vote? If you're in favor of the Ag Extension Services budget, 7100 for a total of $612,522, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passes 5-0. Thank you. Next one up is 57500, the soil conservation budget of $63,806. So I have a motion for approval. Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. Anyone have any questions of this line item? Seeing none, are we ready to vote on soil conservation, 63,806? If you're in favor, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. Passes 5-0. Just a note for those that are in, if you're not on the budget committee, please mute your microphone so we avoid feedback. I know with the budget committee, we probably will keep ours on because we're doing interactive with one another. All right, next one up is item 58190, the economic development for $400,000. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Herbert, do I have a second? Commissioner Morton, thank you. Does anyone have any questions of this line item? All right, are we ready to vote on economic development 58190 for a budget total of $400,000? If in favor, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passes 5-0 in favor. Next one up is 58210, TMA, total of $807,367. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Morton, second by Commissioner Herbert. Does anyone have any questions of the TMA group? Commissioner Sturgeon.
Okay, so the TMA group is the group that runs the bus from Nashville to Williamson County. Is that correct?
Not necessarily, but let's see, we got anybody on the TMA group that can answer those questions?
This is Rogers. The answer
ahead.
to that question is no, Commissioner Sturgeon. The TMA is a shuttle service and a bus service that runs only in the Franklin, Cool Springs area. There are circular system, several of those. Most of this money that you see here is federal or state money that comes into us, and we're held accountable for it, and we pass it on to the TMA.
Can you, Mayor, you know what percent is coming from the federal government?
I can't give you that. Nina, do you know what that number is right offhand? I mean, we don't
Because
have
it just
any-
went up almost 100,000.
Well, we don't have any at the local level. We don't have any money in it. I know that. Nina, do you know?
I'm sorry, I don't know that right offhand.
Commissioner Sturgeon, there's an attachment from the TMA group. I can't read it right now because it's catty-corner to where I am.
Mr.
But
Chairman,
That might help you. Yes, go ahead, Diane.
my apologies on the director not being on the line. She had a doctor's appointment and I told her I would try to be of help. The entire 807,000 for next year's budget is CMAQ money from the feds down to the state and on to the county. And this is a contract that you all approved the mayor to sign. And then they charge ride share user fees, Commissioner Sturgeon, and they do the replacement of the vans with those funds. You've seen their commuter vans around town, black. And so that's what this transportation budget is.
Okay. Thanks for the explanation, Diane.
And some of that is in that attachment to the budget line item from the TMA group, if that'll help you some.
There are no county funds used for this.
Any other questions? All right, are we ready to vote on 58,210 TMA for a total of 807,367? If you're in favor, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Please record the vote. And that passes 5-0 in favor. All right, next one up is 58300, Veteran Services totaling $48,492. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Morton, second by Commissioner Herbert. Does anyone have any questions on this line item? Seeing none, we ready to vote? If you're in favor of Veteran Services budget 48,492, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button.
Sorry about that, but there it is. I'm ready.
It evaded you. There we go. Please record the vote, please. And that passes 5-0. Thank you. Next one up is other 58400 on insurance, $4,081,060. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Morton, second Commissioner Herbert. You can see this is a large item with building and contents. Does anyone have any questions, or would you like someone to give us a quick summary of this? Yes, Commissioner Sturgeon agrees. Could we have a quick summary of this, please?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Wayne Franklin is available.
Right.
Okay.
I
thank you,
couldn't
Mr.
see his
Chairman.
face. There we go.
This
Wayne,
is
can you give
our-
us
our
just a
risk
summary?
management budget for the year, across the board in all of our lines this year, we asked for a 10% increase. So we've got, this, for, county general, solid waste and highway. I believe we'll be hearing those later. It's just an anticipation of an increase in premium cost and claim cost for the upcoming year. We did not have any increase, in any of these lines last year.
All right, thank you. Is anyone else? Commissioner Sturgeon.
Yeah, hi, Wayne. I'm looking at line 55-1300, or no, 55-1100. it's a new $80,000 for vehicle and equipment insurance.
Yes, ma'am. Last year we had to add a new policy, a new excess policy to our group of catastrophic type insurance, and our vehicles were split out. We used to have those covered under property and buildings along with that. But with this new policy, we had to have the vehicle coverage, and that was a policy we didn't have last year.
So did the other one go down when we broke out the vehicles?
No, ma'am, because that was part of the reason why there was an increase in property insurance last year. It really didn't have a decrease. We just had have a new insurance policy to cover our vehicles.
Okay, thank you for the explanation.
Yes, ma'am.
Does anyone else have any more questions on the insurance? $4,081,060. If not, if you're ready to vote on insurance 58400 for $4,081,060, push your yes button. If you're in favor, your no button if you're opposed. Record the vote, please. That passes 5-0. All right, next one up is dues and memberships, line 58400, $74,594. Have a motion for approval. There we go. Commissioner Morton, second. Commissioner Herbert. Anyone have any questions on this line item? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? If you're in favor of dues and memberships of $74,595, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. And that passes unanimously. Next one up is employee benefits, line 58600, for a total of $18,846,212. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Morton, second by Commissioner Herbert. Does anyone have any questions or like a summary on this? I think we ought to get a summary unless there's disagreement. Let's see, would that be Gina or Mike Weber? Who can give a quick summary on that one?
Mr. Chairman, this is
Yes.
Nina.
Nina can. Thank you, Nina.
This is just the employer's portion of Social Security, our retirement, our life insurance, and medical and disability. The state retirement did remain the same at 5% this year, but there was an increase included due to the mid-year pay adjustment and the 4% pay increase. So you'll see that reflected in the line items where it has the employer matching. And the medical insurance, as you're aware, was increased $600 per employee. So it's a total of $11,200 per employee.
Okay, thank you, Nina. Does anyone have any questions on this line item? If not, are you ready to vote on employee benefits, line item 58600 for $18,846,212? If you're in favor, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passed unanimously, 5-0. Next one up is a miscellaneous total for consultants and other items. Line item 58900, total $384,635. Have a motion by Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. Anyone have any questions on this line item? Commissioner Sturgeon.
Yeah, I see that there's a line 531202 went from 125,000 to 275,000. Is there anyone here that can explain the need for that?
I think Nina can explain that.
Yes, ma'am. That is where we pay the expenses for the Cool Springs Conference Center if there are any losses. And of course, due to the pandemic, we have had losses the current year, and I did bump that up for next year in hopes that there would be some recovery But if that is not enough, I would have to come to you in a resolution at a later date.
So can I assume that we lost 125,000 last year?
No, that's what I budgeted for our current year. And I will be bringing a resolution to the commission to appropriate the difference that we've had to pay due to the pandemic. So these are just our budgetary estimates.
Do you have an idea how much that resolution is going to be for?
I don't have that in front of me right now. I can send that amount.
Is it a lot more? I mean, is it double? Just,
Yes, it's going to be double that.
okay. All right. That explains why you upped it to 275 for this year, right?
Right.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anyone else have any questions on this line item? If not, are we ready to vote on 58,900, total 384,635? If you're in favor, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. Pass unanimously, 5-0. Next up is, we're starting the nonprofits. I want to pause here just for a minute. I think everyone got the spreadsheet. We talked a little bit about this in our prior meetings. I believe you also got the resolution from back in 2015. So in reviewing this, we have a new request coming up that we'll have to deal with from a new agency. If you saw Nina's note that I sent you today, some agencies requested additional funds. We've had some agencies drop off, not only this year, but in the past. So is there anyone that would like to ask a question, has a question, wants to discuss this before we move into the nonprofits?
Mr. Chairman, it's Diane. Just as a point of clarification, all of the nonprofits you are discussing tonight may or may not have been included in that little synopsis email that Nina sent to you, because as you know, you've already approved some of the nonprofits that just by the state's chart of accounts fall under different categories within the budget. So some of those may not be discussed this evening. I just wanted to make sure you were aware of that.
Right, and that's a good point that Diane brings up, because I'm looking at this from the chair's perspective at all nonprofits, the ones we've already approved, and then the ones that we're looking at tonight, to make sure when we get finished that the budget committee recommendations of full commission that we vetted any questions. So I will say that because we've had some fall off over the years, that we might be able to add some, but I don't want to pick favorites. I would suggest if we add to any, we add to all as far as a dollar amount or percentage to these agencies. And then when we get to it, we've added just at the end, the Davis House, since that's a new request, and we'll discuss that one as we get closer to it. But this is an opportunity before we move on. If anyone has any questions, I will note that Commissioner Herbert back in 2015 was on that committee or task force. Commissioner Herbert, I can't remember if it was a committee or a task force that did review this and came up with a resolution that we shared with you a week or so ago. So not seeing anyone want to ask questions, then we will move on into line item for the Boys and Girls Club for a total of $8,960, and I'll entertain a motion for approval. Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. I know we have a representative from Boys and Girls Club on the line. If anyone has any questions, does anyone have any questions of this line item? Seeing none, ready to vote in favor of the Boys and Girls Club donation of $8,960. Push your yes button if you're in favor, your no button if you're opposed. Record the vote, please. That passes 5-0 unanimously. Thank you. Next one up is the Community Child Care for a total of $7,508. Have a motion for approval, please. Commissioner Morton, second by Commissioner Herbert. Does anyone have any questions on this line item? Seeing none, if you're in favor of the community child care for a total of $7,508, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. And that passes 5-0. Next one up is My Friend's House for a total of $4,958. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. Does anyone have any questions on My Friend's House? All right, if you're ready to vote on approving the $4,958 from My Friend's House, push your yes button. If you're opposed, the no button. Record the vote, please. That passes unanimously. Thank you. Next one up is Crime Stoppers for a total of $873. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. Does anybody have any questions on Crime Stoppers for $873? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? If you're in favor of Crime Stoppers, $873, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. And that passes unanimously. Thank you. Next one up is Mid-Cumberland HRA Nutritional Program Meals on Wheels. Excuse me, for a total of $14,622. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. Does anyone have any questions? Seeing none, are we ready to vote on the Meals on Wheels? If you're in favor, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. And that passes 5-0 unanimously. Next one up is the court-appointed special advocates for a total of $3,292. I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Herbert and Commissioner Morton makes the second. Does anyone have any questions on this line item? Commissioner Herbert.
I didn't know if we have an attorney online. I didn't know if I could vote on this or I need to abstain. I'm a volunteer for CASA. I don't receive any money or anything financial whatsoever. I just donate time. And I don't know if I am allowed to vote or I need to abstain.
Okay, let's ask legal and see what their opinion is.
Mr. Chairman, I don't think
Yes.
we have anybody on here from legal today. So Judy, to be on the safe side, abstain.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Judy. Do we have any other questions on this line item for CASA, $3,292? If you're in favor, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passes 4-0 with one abstention. Next one up is the Community Housing Partnership for a total of $38,131. I'll entertain a motion for approval. Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. Does anybody have any questions? Seeing none, if you're in favor of the Community Housing Partnership total of $38,131, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passes unanimously 5-0. Just a second, let me switch my page here. Next one up is the ARC Disability Resource Center for a total of $1,814. Do I have a motion for approval, please? Commissioner Sturgeon to approve, Commissioner Herbert to second. Does anyone have any questions? If not, you're in favor of the ARC Disability Resource Center of $1,814. Push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passes 5-0. Next one up is Saddle Up for a total of $1,800. I'll entertain a motion. Commissioner Morton, Commissioner Sturgeon makes the second. Does anyone have any questions regarding Saddle Up? If not, we're ready to vote. If you're in favor of $1,800 for Saddle Up, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Thank you. Record the vote, please. And that passes 5-0. Next one up is Bridges of Williamson County for $15,701. So I have a motion for approval. Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. Does anyone have a question regarding bridges of Williamson County? Seeing none, are you ready to vote? If you're in favor of the Bridges Williamson County amount of $15,701, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passes 5-0 unanimously. Next one up is the Convention Bureau, Visitors Bureau, for a total of $732,761. If you're in favor, I need a motion for approval. Commissioner Sturgeon, Commissioner Morton, I'm getting ahead of myself. Does anyone have any questions?
Oh, wrong one.
There we go. Commissioner Sturgeon.
Thank you. Thank you. Can anybody in a nutshell explain why it's going down by 50%?
We have the interim director, Lauren, is on here. And Lauren, do you want to explain that, please?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Hello, everyone. So the budget is down this year due to our revenues being down. We collect revenue from hotel motel tax, as you know, and that was about 50% down this year. And so it's just based on the collections for the year. COVID-19, the hospitality industry obviously took a huge hit, and so so those collections were down on our end.
Thanks, Lauren. I suspected that's what it was, but it's good to confirm it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions on the Convention and Visitors Bureau budget? Seeing none, are we ready to vote? If you're in favor of the Convention and Visitors Bureau total of $732,761, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passed unanimously 5-0. Next one up is the Take the Reins for a total of $1,800. Do I have a motion for approval? Commissioner Morton, second by Commissioner Herbert. Does anyone have any questions on this line item? Seeing none, ready to vote. All those in favor of the $1,800 for Take the Reins, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. And that will pass unanimously 5-0. I've been asked to add the Davis House request, and we got that. Let's see if I can find the amount. And I misplaced that, but all of us received that from the mayor's office. Do we want to discuss that one and put it on the floor? If so, just a second, see if I can find that request.
Mr. Chairman, they're asking for $10,000.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
18.
Davis House is 18,000.
Okay, good. I finally found my paperwork. Thank you, Diane. All right, so we all received that. So I'll entertain a motion to add the Davis House to our nonprofit donations for $18,000. Commissioner Morton, is there a second? Okay. Commissioner Herbert, let's see if we're going to get it on the floor, Commissioner Herbert, unless you want to make the second. Okay, that fails to get a second. Let me come back to Commissioner Herbert before we go on. Did you have a question that related to our nonprofits?
Well, I'd like to see the Davis House get some of the money, but not 18,000. You know.
All right. Would you make a motion with a dollar amount, please?
I'd like to make a motion to award the Davis House. I think we had about 6,000 that we're not funding this year for $6,000.
$6,000. Okay. Commissioner Herbert makes a motion to give the Davis House $6,000. Do I have a second? Commissioner, we didn't clear that, but Commissioner Sturgeon makes the second. Is there any discussion on the Davis House for $6,000 nonprofit request? Commissioner Sturgeon.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I'm okay with transferring money that we had been giving to other charitable organizations as long as it doesn't go over that amount. So if 6,000 is the exact amount, that's what I would agree to. That's all I'm saying. Because when I have a little trouble even picking the Davis House, because even though I know they're overwhelmingly a wonderful organization, that puts us in a position to try to figure out, is there other organizations that are even more worthy or not? And that's a hard position to be in, to know who gets hurt and who gets the money. But I would support it not giving them any more than what's dropped off from other charitable organizations that aren't using it anymore.
Mr. Chairman,
Just to be clear on Sturgeon, we as the budget can recommend any dollar amount, and that's the spreadsheet that Nina prepared that I sent you earlier. You can see that going back to 2017. So it's at our discretion to make that recommendation for the full commission. So we can go forward with that. If you let me come back around to Sturgeon after hearing from Commissioner Morton and Mayor Anderson. Will that be okay? Okay,
Mr.
Commissioner
Chairman,
Morton.
if I could interject just for a moment.
Yes.
The two agencies that came off the current year was the Mid-Cumberland Transportation Program for $2,241, and the Greenbrier Community Center for $437. But as you said, of course, you all may make a motion for any dollar amount, but that total amount is $2,678.
Thank you, Nina. Commissioner Morton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yes, I think we need to figure out the amount. I appreciate Nina sharing that. The 26. I was proposing the 18,000 just to get it on the floor, anticipating that we would amend it down to stay within our past budgetary constraints. And now that we understand what we'd been spending before, I've got a better idea of kind of what I think we'll want to do. Thanks.
Just to note, the numbers have gone around. That's why it was important, I think, for Nina to share this spreadsheet in 2017. And this includes the libraries, which may or may not be included in what we look at our scope. But for comparison numbers, 483,341 in 17, then that dropped to 457,277 in 2018, stayed the same in 2019 and 2020. And this year, the request before the Davis House was 446, last year, 446,246. And then this year's request for 21-22 was 443,568. So from my perspective, it's whatever we as the budget committee would recommend. And this spreadsheet gives us some guidance of what we've done in the past. So I'll go on to Mayor Anderson. Yes, Nina.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to inform you the senior centers that the funding came off of the listing. Those we typically transfer over to the parks. So they're not completely removed out of the budget. They're just transferred over to the park system. But just wanted to share that information for you all to make your decision with.
And that's a good point to share. Thank you, Nina. All right, Mayor Anderson.
Well, Mr. Chairman, I deleted my request to speak, but I needed Nina to give us those numbers of the 2,600. I agree with both of all three of the commissioners. We don't need to extend this past the dollar amount. We need to lock it in at that $2,600 if you all want to spend that, because we have other organizations and groups that would love to get on this. Many have asked for increases. I think the Davis House is an excellent group. There's nothing wrong with them, but we want to stay within our budget amount, and that's that $2,600 amount that Nina gave. And then my final point was to point out that some of those senior citizens have rolled over to Parks and Rec, like Nina said. So we're picking that up for them. So it's not like it's free money. We've just rolled it someplace else because they get better services, better programming and the Parks and Rec helps take care of their programs. That was my comment.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Commissioner Sturgeon.
Have we ever considered just taking the 2,678 and redistributing it to the charities that are already on our list? Has that ever been?
That would be an option. That's not a lot of money, but that is an option.
Normally speaking, Commissioner, if I could jump in to answer that, we've not had this problem. As you all know, it's a tough call to be trying to find money to help all the nonprofits, and particularly during the pandemic, many of them have not been able to perform in the area. You saw the CVB budget, which is based off of 25% of the sales across the area. And everybody in the nonprofit world, I think, is hurting this year. And that's why I would just caution to start raising it for one organization as opposed to helping all the other. But to answer your question, Commissioner Sturgeon, we can do whatever you all want to do. I just think we need to stay within the budgeted amount, because if we don't, you're going to get questions just like I will. Well, why them and not us? So you all figure it out. I'll support anything so long as it's within the budget. Otherwise, I'm gonna vote no.
Thank you. Commissioner, do you have a follow-up? I have Commissioner Herbert has a question.
I'm just going to think about this a little bit longer, I think. So go on to Judy, okay?
Okay, let me move. Commissioner Herbert.
Okay, I know I did a motion for 6,000, and where I was getting that figure was where we had the Fairview. I don't know if I can take back that 6 and make it 2,600. Isn't that the figure we've come up with?
It's actually $2,678. I would suggest if we do that number, we round it to 2,675 rather than have that odd number. Would be $3 below. Yeah.
The Davis House does such an important job.
We lost you, Judy.
Can you hear me now? I said Davis House does such an important job in this community, and I would like to see them get a little bit. And I know there's a lot of other nonprofits, but I guess I just think Davis House is really important, but I'm like the rest. I don't want to see it go over that budget. So I don't know, do I need to take back my motion since I said 6,000 and change it to 26 or 2,675?
I think if you want to amend your motion, Commissioner Sturgeon made the second. If she would agree with you to amend the motion to whatever number you choose, is it the 2,675 or 2,678, Commissioner Herbert?
Okay, I want to amend my amount to 2,675.
Thank you. Commissioner Sturgeon?
The more I think about it, I think we should just leave the money, just not give it to anybody. So I'd like to take my second away.
Okay, so at this point, Commissioner Herbert, she disagrees with your motion. So where we are at this point is your original motion at 6,000 for the Davis House, even though that would go over the budget. Do we have any other comments? Maybe someone else? So I think if my parliamentary procedures, we've got to vote on that, which is on the floor, and then we could come back and look at it another way. Anyone else?
Mr. Chairman, it's not
Yes.
on the floor if Commissioner Sturgeon has withdrawn her second.
That's a good point. Thank you. So Commissioner Sturgeon withdrew her second, so we can start over, Commissioner Herbert. Commissioner Morton? Come in. Okay. I see now. Commissioner Herbert's made the motion to approve the Davis House for $2,675. We have a second from Commissioner Morton. Do we have any discussion on the item at this point? Davis House, $2,675. Is there any further discussion? Okay. Are we ready to vote it? If I've got this clear, we have a motion from Commissioner Herbert, seconded by Commissioner Morton, to add the Davis House to our nonprofits distributions in the amount of $2,675 for the 2021-2022 budget. All right,
Mr. Chairman, before you
Yes.
vote, can I ask a question?
Commissioner Little, go ahead.
Were there any other new requests besides this one that came into the Budget Committee this year? Because I know we have had in the past.
We had some additional amounts. They requested more money. But as far as I'm aware, unless someone in the office received some, Davis House is the only new request. Is that correct, Diane?
Yes, sir. You did have the one mental health counseling that we swapped the groups from the guidance center to the refuge center for the same services. But that was the only new funding request outside of that.
Thank you. Commissioner Little?
All right, I was just curious, and because like I said, when you add somebody, you kind of open up a can of worms.
Well,
We haven't
okay.
added really anybody in several years, so I was just curious if anybody else had asked. So.
Okay. All right. Any other questions before we vote? All right, before us now is a request to add the Davis House for $2,675 to our nonprofits. If you're in favor of that, if we get it loaded, we'll wait just a second. It looks like that's loaded. If you're in favor of that, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. And that passes 3 yes, 2 no. So that passes for $2,675 to go to the Davis House. Moving on to the next item, it's the general debt service total of $45,390,000. Do we have a motion for approval? Commissioner Herbert, second by Commissioner Morton. I would ask Nina to go through this for us, please.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. This is the principal and interest that is due on our general projects that we approve for the county. That's all the county projects and high schools, but these are the amounts that are due for the upcoming year for our principal and interest.
Thank you, Nina. Does anyone have any questions regarding the general debt service of $45,390,000? Okay, are we ready to vote? If you're in favor of general debt service of $45,390,000, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. That passes 5-0. Thank you. Next one up is the rural debt service total of $32,720,000 even. Do I have a motion for approval? Just a second. Looks like the vote, we're locked up here. There we go. Commissioner Morton makes the motion, seconded by Commissioner Herbert. I'll ask Nina to go ahead and give us a summary on that, and then we can ask questions. Nina, please.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is the principal and interest due for the rural debt service fund. And those are monies that we've borrowed for the K-8 school projects.
All right, thank you. Do we have any questions? Seeing none, we ready to vote on the rural debt service of $32,720,000. If you're in favor, push your yes button. If you're opposed, your no button. Record the vote, please. And that passes unanimously. Thank you. As has been my history, Mayor, do you have any updates for the Budget Committee this afternoon?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Y'all did a good job. I have nothing to report today.
Thank you. I'll remind everyone that we have another meeting tomorrow, April 20th at 3:30 p.m. Same channel. At this point, is there any other business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Commissioner Herbert, Commissioner Morton, we are adjourned. Thank you, everyone. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.